Welcome back to Arena of Wisdom. Today we're doing a deep dive into the book Be a People Person by John C. Maxwell.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
It's a great book. It's all about building relationships and becoming a better leader.
You know what's interesting about this book is that Maxwell, with his background as a pastor, brings a really unique perspective
Yeah.
to leadership. You know, he doesn't just focus on like the technical skills, but he really emphasizes the human element.
Absolutely. And that's something that resonates with everyone, regardless of your profession or background.
Right,
Right? You don't have to be a pastor
right.
to benefit from learning how to encourage others or understand difficult people or build that genuine trust.
Exactly. In fact, one of the first things that Maxwell highlights is how his own father, someone who wasn't naturally outgoing, intentionally developed his people skills.
Wow.
It shows us that these skills aren't just like these innate talents, they can be learned and honed.
Yeah, it's like a muscle you can strengthen over time.
Ex-
And speaking of inspiring people, Maxwell shares this heartwarming story about a greeting card he received.
Oh, wow.
It said, "When special people touch our lives, they teach us how to live."
Oh,
It really got me thinking about the lasting impact we can have on others just by the way we treat them.
it's a powerful reminder, isn't it? Maxwell emphasizes that everyone craves to be encouraged, appreciated, forgiven, listened to, and understand.
Those are fundamental human needs
Absolutely.
that cut across all cultures and backgrounds.
It really is.
And he tells this really thought-provoking story about a son who chose not to follow in his father's footsteps.
Oh, wow.
Not because he lacked the skills, but because he never felt truly encouraged. The father, in his attempts to challenge his son,
Right.
unintentionally made him feel inadequate.
It highlights how important it is to find that balance between, supporting and challenging others.
Yeah,
Sometimes in our efforts to like push people to grow, we can end up discouraging them.
that's so true. On the flip side, Maxwell shares this inspiring story of Eugene Lang, who promised a group of sixth graders that he'd pay for their college if they graduated high school.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
Their graduation rates skyrocketed. Just imagine the impact of a simple act of belief in someone's life.
It's amazing, isn't it? And it ties back to what William James said. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated.
If you're enjoying this deep dive into Be a People Person, be sure to subscribe to Arena of Wisdom for more insightful book reviews like this one. We've got a whole library of content designed to help you learn and grow.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check out our short story wisdom videos for like quick doses of inspiration.
Now, getting back to the book, Maxwell also digs into the power of appreciation, even citing a study that found that people are far more likely to share bad experiences
Oh, yeah.
than good ones.
Interesting.
But if a company addresses a problem quickly and makes the customer feel heard, they become more loyal and even recommend the company to others.
It makes you think about how we handle situations in our own lives, doesn't it?
Totally.
Are we quick to apologize and show appreciation,
Right.
or do we let these negative experiences fester?
Such a good point. And think about this. Maxwell tells a story about a politician giving his first campaign speech.
Okay.
He arrives to find only one person in the audience.
Oh,
Instead of feeling discouraged, he chooses to appreciate that one person for showing up.
oh, that's great.
It's a great lesson in perspective, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's about finding the positive even in those seemingly insignificant situations.
Yeah.
And that leads us beautifully into the topic of forgiveness.
Yes, forgiveness is huge. Maxwell shares a powerful anecdote about Senator Humphrey, who, facing his own mortality, reached out to President Nixon, a man he had a very difficult relationship with, to offer forgiveness.
Wow.
It's a reminder that holding on to grudges ultimately hurts us more than anyone else.
Forgiving others, even when it's incredibly difficult, can be incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
It frees us from the burden of anger and resentment.
Now, before we move on to some of Maxwell's insights on charisma and leadership, let's take a quick pause. What are your thoughts so far? Have any of these stories or concepts resonated with you? Share your experiences in the comments below.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and continue the conversation. We'll be right back with more from Be a People Person. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Arena Wisdom. We're continuing our deep dive into Be a People Person by John C. Maxwell. And last time we were talking about forgiveness.
Yeah, it's incredible how much freedom can come from just letting go of past hurts, right?
It really is.
And speaking of freedom, Maxwell also talks about confidence and how it can truly make or break our success.
That's right. And he tells this really adorable story about his 6-year-old son, Joel,
Oh.
confidently directing a group of pastors, like full-grown adults, and they listened.
Wow.
It just shows how infectious genuine confidence can be.
Even from such a young age.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right.
But he also acknowledges that there are things that can shake our confidence. He calls them confidence shakers.
Right.
And we've probably encountered a few of those in our own lives, right?
Absolutely.
So he contrasts those with confidence builders, the people and experiences that lift us up.
Right.
One example he gives is a hot dog vendor who was doing great,
Okay.
but then his son convinced him that a recession was coming
Oh, no.
and talked him into cutting back on everything. And
Oh,
guess what? His sales plummeted.
wow.
It just goes to show how much our mindset can affect our outcomes.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
If you focus on the negative, you're more likely to experience negative results.
But how do we combat that? What are some practical things that we can do to boost our confidence when we're feeling a little shaky?
Well, Maxwell suggests focusing on God, not our circumstances. He even references a passage from Philippians where Paul talks about learning to be content in any situation
Right.
because he knows his strength comes from Christ.
Yeah, it's about finding our security and confidence in something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly.
That's such a powerful point. And it's not just about our internal mindset, right?
Right.
Maxwell also emphasizes the importance of surrounding ourselves with confident people,
Yes,
those who believe in us and encourage us to grow.
absolutely.
He tells a story about his daughter Elizabeth,
Okay.
who wasn't as naturally confident as her brother Joel.
Got it.
So when they were playing a card game, he purposely lost to Elizabeth so she could experience a win and boost her confidence.
Oh, that's sweet.
It's a great reminder that we can all play a role in building up the confidence of those around us.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be some grand gesture,
Yeah.
Even small wins can make a big difference.
If you're enjoying this deep dive, make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out some of our other content here on Arena of Wisdom.
Yes.
We've got a whole library of book reviews like this one, plus our short story wisdom videos that are packed with inspiring messages and practical advice.
We're passionate about sharing knowledge and helping you become the best version of yourself.
Now back to be a people person. Maxwell doesn't just focus on personal development, he also delves into the qualities of effective leaders.
Right.
He outlines 5 key characteristics: a sense of calling, the ability to communicate creativity and problem-solving generosity, and consistency.
And he really stresses the importance of being accountable to someone in authority, whether that's a mentor, a spiritual leader,
Yeah.
or even just a trusted friend or colleague.
It's so important.
He talks about the dangers of becoming isolated and unaccountable, especially for those in positions of power.
Yeah, he even uses the example of King David,
Oh, wow.
who, despite his many successes, made some major mistakes when he stopped being accountable to those around him.
It's a cautionary tale for all of us.
Regardless of our position or title, we all need people in our lives who can speak truth to us and help us stay on track.
Absolutely. And that last characteristic, consistency, is crucial for building trust and credibility with others. Maxwell says a leader must be consistent in 3 areas: people, this builds security; principles, this provides direction; and projects, this builds morale.
So it's not just about being consistent in our actions,
Right.
but also in our character and values.
Yeah.
We need to be the same person day in and day out if we want people to trust and respect us.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that Maxwell doesn't shy away from the tougher aspects of leadership.
Okay?
He talks about the importance of handling criticism effectively,
Yeah?
even viewing it as an opportunity for growth.
That's a tough one.
He shares how early in his ministry he was devastated by receiving less than a unanimous vote from his congregation.
Oh, wow.
He felt like a failure.
I can only imagine how discouraging that would be.
Yeah, but his father, also a pastor, helped him realize that, it's normal, even healthy, to have some people disagree with you.
Okay.
Over time, Maxwell learned to view criticism as a chance to learn and improve rather than a personal attack.
That's such a valuable shift in perspective. But let's be honest, criticism is never easy to swallow.
Right.
Do you have any advice for handling it gracefully, especially when it feels so personal?
Well, Maxwell suggests taking a positive approach, remembering that the critic might be wrong, and focusing on your mission rather than your mistakes. He also encourages us to ask ourselves, does the critic sincerely want to help me?
Okay.
Sometimes criticism comes from a place of genuine concern and a desire to see us succeed.
Right.
Other times it might be motivated by jealousy or a desire to tear us down.
That's a great point. It's about being discerning about the criticism we receive, taking what's helpful, and leaving the rest behind.
Exactly. And remember, even when the criticism stings, we have a choice in how we respond.
Yeah.
We can choose to become defensive and angry, or we can choose to try and understand the critic's perspective and look for ways to grow from the experience.
And Maxwell reminds us that even Christ, who is perfect and sinless, endured criticism without retaliating.
Wow.
It's a powerful example for all of us to follow, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a reminder that sometimes the best response is to let our actions speak for themselves.
Now, as we move into the final part of our deep dive, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What are some of the key takeaways that have resonated with you so far? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below.
We love hearing from you and continuing the conversation. And don't forget to subscribe to Arena of Wisdom for more insightful content like this. We'll be right back with the final part of our exploration into Be a People Person. Welcome back to Arena of Wisdom as we wrap up our deep dive into Be a People Person by John C. Maxwell.
You know, one thing that's really stuck with me through this whole discussion is Maxwell's emphasis on staying focused on our mission, even when things get tough.
Yeah, it's so easy to get discouraged or lose sight of our goals when we face challenges in life.
Totally. But, Maxwell uses the example of the Apostle Paul,
Right.
who remained so steadfast in his mission,
Yeah.
even though he faced incredible persecution and hardship.
It's inspiring.
It really is. It's a true example of resilience and dedication.
And, it makes you think about the things that we're passionate about in our own lives. Like, what are the things that are worth fighting for?
Yeah, what are we willing to really go the extra mile for?
Even when the going gets tough.
It's a question worth thinking about.
It is.
Maxwell encourages us to hold fast to the vision we have, knowing that we have the strength and resources to achieve it,
And that we're not in this alone.
and that we're not in this alone.
We have each other, and we have a higher power to guide and support us.
And that sense of community and support
Yeah,
is something that really shines through in Be a People Person.
absolutely.
It's not just about becoming a better individual, but it's about building stronger relationships and creating a more positive and supportive world.
And I think that's what makes this book so powerful
Yeah.
and relevant even all these years after it was first published.
It's a timeless guide.
It really
To
is.
navigating the complexities of human relationships and becoming the best versions of ourselves.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear from you. What are some of the key takeaways that have resonated with you?
Yeah.
What are some practical steps you can take to improve your own people skills and become a more positive influence in the lives of those around you?
Share your thoughts in the comments below.
We love hearing from you.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to Arena of Wisdom
Yes.
for more insightful book reviews, short story wisdom videos,
Yes.
and other amazing content
So much great content.
designed to help you grow and learn.
We're passionate about sharing knowledge and helping you unlock your full potential.
Because the more we share knowledge, the better we all become.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on Book Review Time
And we'll see you next time.
on Arena of Wisdom.